and Sammy Davis, Jr., two American originals. We'll pay tribute to their talents and their contributions tonight. Our guests, Stevie Wonder, Gregory Hines, and Steve Lawrence.
What a group!
Sammy Davis, Jr. used to tell the story on himself. In fact, he probably made the story up as a way of cutting through the baloney. Sammy at the golf course, someone says, "What's your handicap?" And Sammy says back, "You got to be kidding. A one-eyed black Jew, and you're asking me what my handicap is?" He might have added a one-eyed black Jew who at various times in his career drank too much, used every illegal drug on the market, and married my Brit, at a time when even Hollywood was not very tolerant about black men marrying white women. In a few minutes, we'll talk about this very complex man with three of his friends, Stevie Wonder, Gregory Hines, and Steve Lawrence. But first, the quality that made Sammy Davis, Jr. so special to hundreds of millions around the world. He was, before he died today of throat cancer at the age of 64, simply one of the greatest entertainers of our time.
I didn't learn about show business until, I'd say, till I was about 6 or 7, that I was in a business. I thought it was this fun. So I started when I was 3. I won my amateur contest, and right after that, my dad and Will Maston put me in the act of singing, "I'll be glad when you're dead, you rascal you." Never went to grade school. I never went to any kind of school at all. We stayed at the black hotels, ate in the black restaurants, socialized with the other blacks within that community, because it was part of belonging and feeling comfortable, and also part of the legal structure. But then I went into the Army. I was 17 at the time. I was in the first integrated group of infantrymen, and they had never seen a black man do Jimmy Cagney or Jimmy Stewart or any of the popular guys. So I started doing it in the Army when I got with this integrated group. The white guys would laugh and the black guys would look at me like this. When I got out of the Army, the first night we were working at a place called Shep's Playhouse. At the opening night, I step up and I say, "Thank you very much, it's nice to be out of the Army. I got something that my dad and uncle don't know that I can do. We talked about it, but I never got a chance to do it for them. I'm going to do it for you nice folks tonight." I got up to the microphone and I said, "How about Jimmy Stewart?" You know, well, gee whiz, I'd really like to say that it really is a pleasure to be back among my own folk. And well, they went, rah! We got off the stage, people were standing. We got into the dressing room, my father said, "If you ever do that again, I'm gonna kill you." If I get a record, or I get a good movie, that's gravy. My main suit is concerts, nightclubs, going on around the world entertaining, being a variety artist. That's what I am. I knew a man, Bojangles, and he danced for you. In worn out shoes, silver hair, ragged shirt, and baggy pants. Bojangles is special because I hated the song, because I was afraid to do it, because that's my fear, that I'll wind up like Bojangles. He could jump so high, man, he could jump real high, and then he'd lightly touch down. When I do that number, some nights I get so hung up in it. One night in Vegas, I said, "Oh my God, well, that's me. I'm projected. That's how I'll be when I'm 70 years old, man. I'll still be working. I'll be working little joints. And I'll talk about what I used to be. And that'll be the end of it." Talked of life. Talked of life. Laughed. Slapped his leg a step. Said I dance snow at every chance. Honky tonks for my drinks and tips. The most of the time I spend behind the county bars. You see, son, I drinks a bit. That man, that culmination of different black performers, minstrels that I've known, who got hooked on junk, who got wiped out by alcohol, got wiped out by the changing of times. I've seen them disappear, great dancers. That's Mr. Bojangles. Call me Mr. Bojangles. Mr. Bojangles, I come back and dance, 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 dance. You can't please everybody. You know, but you please the majority, and don't ever let them say, gee, I didn't like the performance. That doesn't mean everybody's going to like what you're doing, but at least they'll be able to say, he performed for me, man. He gave his all. Damn, that man.
When we come back, we'll get three views of Sammy Davis Jr. from three major talents in the entertainment world: dancer and actor Gregory Hines, actor and singer Steve Lawrence, and singer-composer Stevie Wonder.
This is ABC News Nightline, brought to you by Nissan.
Role in bringing...
I'm very pleased with...
Davis Jr. had known each other for years. They never worked together until the film Tap was released in 1989. Gregory Hines joins us now from our affiliate, WKRC in Cincinnati, where he's making a new movie.
Is that the right year?
Sure.
1973.
A few months ago, seems like just a couple of months ago. Tap dancing together. Did he know at the time, did you know at the time how sick he was?
No, he was in great spirits and great health at that time, and looking forward to continuing his tour with Frank Sinatra and Liza Minnelli, and he was very happy about the opening of the film, and everything looked bright.
Steve Lawrence, you told one of our producers a story which indicates how much of a dancer, how much of a performer this man was, even when he was in his hospital. And I take it relatively near the end, when he couldn't talk anymore, you and Edie went to see him, and pick up the story, would you?
Well, Edie and Sammy and I have been friends, as you say, for 35 years, and we would always check with each other when we were breaking in new material, mostly medleys and all. On several occasions, we visited him, because Sammy had kind of beaten death several times. And we went up to the hospital, and he was there with a problem, with a liver problem at the time. And we were all doing a television show, and Sammy literally got out of bed. We brought the tape, and he's all hooked up with wires. And the man started to dance and sing, and I think he got better. And the last time we did this, we went up with another medley that we were doing, and he said, Stevie, I don't think I'm going to make it this time, but let me show you a step I'd like this. Oh, sure, Sam, you're going to make it. You're going to be fine. And it's a tough day for a lot of people. Sammy Davis, I've never heard a bad word said about him by anyone. He was a rare man, and he had many gifts. Not only the gifts that he had with regard to show business. He probably, and I haven't heard this mentioned on television today, probably was among the most charitable people in our industry. There was never a benefit that he didn't do. Not only gave of his time and his talent, but of his resources as well. I think Sammy was one of the largest contributors to the United Negro College Fund. And just so many benefits that this man would do all over the world. I know we would very often try with our children to plan holidays, because they kind of grew up together, his two kids and our two kids at the time. And we would all do things to break up the kids. And Sam, one time in Hawaii, would take a trumpet and a big hat and walk out into the water, and it got deeper for him before the kids, and they were only 6 or 7. He says, my goodness, everybody's taller than me.
Let me just jump over to Stevie Wonder for a moment.
Yeah, sure.
And Stevie, I think you could hear in that piece that we showed at the beginning of the program when he's talking about Mr. Bojangles, and there's that concern. That must be a concern, even though you're still a very young man, must be a concern of every entertainer that you're going to end up 70 years old still plying your trade in little gin mills somewhere. Can you relate to what Sammy was talking about there?
Well, I think that, of course, for someone as he was a very giving person and spent so much of his life to what I knew from a fair distance, but I grew up following his career as best I could. Yes, I did. I watched his movies, and I enjoyed the many great things that people said about him. And being a person who was giving, his heart was far bigger than most that we will meet in life.
Yeah, but do you understand? I mean, what I'm asking you is, how is it that a man as talented as Sammy Davis Jr. seemed to live in fear of ending up as a 70-year-old has-been, sort of tap dancing his way into Never Never Land in some gin mill?
I think that people in this profession can do that sometimes just with not knowing what's going to happen for the future. But I think realistically, we as the public, we as his fans, really were the ones that would make sure that he would be fine for all of his life. That's really the only way I can answer that. I don't think that, as much as it was that there was a fear in his mind, and sometimes artists have that fear, I can only relate to the greatness of what he did, and that we would do all that we could to make sure that he was fine.
All right, we're going to take a little break. We'll continue our discussion in just a moment.
Grisly murder of a Beverly.
Profile of the Irish woman, also a myth that made the Blarney Stone famous.
Plus a sampling of Irish cuisine on Good Morning America tomorrow.
Go to and singing in the rain.
Yeah.
Singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. Happy again.
And our topic, of course, Sammy Davis Jr., and we're back once again with Steve Lawrence and Stevie Wonder. I'm afraid we've lost our signal to Cincinnati, and therefore, for the moment at least, cannot talk to Gregory Hines. Steve Lawrence, a complicated man. You know, as I think back through the years, I mean, one of the images that people of our generation will never forget is of Sammy Davis Jr. hugging Richard Nixon. It seemed so bizarre at the time. What were his politics?
Sammy was not really a very political animal. He reacted instinctively. I mean, he could be a Republican, and then the next time around he could be a Democrat. He was a very liberal individual, and as such, and being the instinctive guy that he was, he just, whatever struck him right, that's the way he went, and that even pertained to politics as well. He was an instinctive guy, self-taught, as you know. Sam, I tell you, for a guy who, and he would tell me stories, you know, he couldn't read and write, and he was very embarrassed by that when he was a younger kid. And he taught himself to read and to write, and he really is a self-made man.
Why did he, and I don't know if you ever talked about it, why did he convert to Judaism?
I'm not really sure, Ted. It was not a touchy subject, but Sammy and I talked about not only Judaism, but just religion on many occasions when things happened, and we discussed with each other. I think he found something in Judaism that he related to. And it's as simple as that. Why does anybody attracted to whatever religion, Buddhism, Mohammedanism, Catholicism? He found something in Judaism that turned that little key, and it brought him peace.
Stevie Wonder, let me just ask you a quick question, then I'm afraid we want to devote just a little bit of this program also to the memory of Jim Henson. What, was there a generational thing about Sammy Davis Jr.? You are more of this generation. The younger kids relate more to you, Stevie, but is it your impression that they also got something out of Sammy Davis Jr.?
I think that talents like Michael, that saw him dance, Michael Jackson. I know for me, when I was going to be 21, I did a song of his that he did, I Gotta Be Me. And it was because I was going through a lot of changes in my life, with my career, and I just wanted to do that song because it expressed exactly how I felt. So I think that we loved his talent, what he could do. I know I did, and I think I can speak for a lot of people.
All right, Stevie Wonder, thank you
Ted.
very much. Steve, I'm afraid otherwise we're not going to get to our Jim Henson segment. Thank you, Steve Lawrence, very much. Gregory Hines, if you can hear me, I'm awfully sorry that we lost our signal, but thanks for coming in tonight. When we return, we'll remember Muppets creator Jim Henson, who also died today at 8.